Hello and welcome to Modelling Misadventures. Now my last video showed the construction of a 3D printed Saturn V in 1/60th scale, and I'm going to carry on today with the space theme, and I'm going to make another rocket in 1/60th scale, and this time it's going to be the Space X Falcon 9 with the Dragon crew capsule. I've printed out quite a lot of parts already, and you can see because it's a rocket there's quite a lot of tubes and cylinders, and then you end up with basically a box of bits like this, which all have to be glued together, but they're very simple to print and very simple to make. So as with the New Shepard rocket that we made before, I'm going to start this one with the launch pad, and first thing is to fasten these things onto it, and these are known as hold down arms, and these kept the rocket attached to the launch pad until the rockets are built up enough for us to take off, and then these would rotate out of the way and the rocket would move away from the launch pad. So we're just going to glue those onto there. So that's the launch pad done, a bit of super glue and jobs are good un, and they've come out quite nice, and so that's what the rocket's going to sit on. And now onto the rocket itself. Now this rocket is called the Falcon 9 because it's got 9 engines on the bottom, 1 in the middle and 8 around the outside, and here they are, and they just need to be glued on, and that will look great. So next we've got these 4 little bars, and these fix at the bottom of the rocket, and they are what the hold down arms grip onto, and they're just going to go in these little holes here. Okay, time for the rocket to start to grow. So we just start putting the tubes on. That fits on nicely. There's a little notch to make sure you get it in the right place. So that's the base of the rocket. So these are the landing legs all lined up, and all you need to do is to take 2 of them and glue them into the black ones. Right, there they are. That's just the bottom part of the leg, and the next thing is just to glue these little extension hinge pieces on. So that's the 4 landing legs glued together. They went together okay, a little bit of trimming necessary, and then there are these little hinges here which are going to go on and get glued into the end of the landing leg. There you go. So 4 landing legs with little hinges. Now these legs get fastened on at the bottom of the rocket in these little brackets here, and the hinges just go in there and there. It goes on pretty easy actually, and then you just use a little bit of printer filament to go through the hole to act as a hinge. So I've actually done one here, and you can see those little hinges, and the leg opens up quite nicely. Now what we've got here is a set of parts that's meant to make up a telescopic extender. And I'm going to put a drop of super glue in the hole and put this length of sewing thread into there, and just secure it with another drop of glue, and the end then gets threaded through this one, and we just get that inside there, and then just secure this with a tiny drop of glue at the end here. And then we do the same with this one. So the string goes through here. And the same again, we secure it with a drop of glue just inside here. And lastly, the string goes through the top one, and we secure this one to the top of here. Well, there's one that's actually done and working. Look at these babies. They do actually work very nicely. You can see they extend and they go up and they snap shut with that little magnet right at the top. Right, now we can start making the rocket higher by putting on the next section. Now these are the parts to complete the top of the first stage. So this part goes in here like this, down at the bottom. There we are. And then this bit goes on top of it. In there. And these are just the grid fins that stabilise the rocket as it's coming into land, and they go on there right at the top of the first stage. So now we've got these pipes and conduits that go up the outside of the rocket. You have to be stuck on there like that. Now we can put the top of stage 1. So that is the first stage of the Falcon 9 rocket completed. Now the engine's at the bottom, the landing legs. It's actually a very long rocket. And here is the top of the first stage, and there are the grill fins that help it to get down, and inside we've got the section that the engine for the second stage goes into. So I've printed out the parts now for stage 2. It's fairly simple. It's got the rocket body, a couple of ends, an engine at the bottom, so that's going to be fairly easy to make, but I am going to spray paint this engine silver to make it look a bit nicer. These are the parts for stage 2. It's very simple. Just got a fairly short section of rocket, and the engine goes at the bottom, and the top of the tank goes at the top, and a little connection ring. So just glue those together and that'll be done. Well, that's the first stage complete, and it's very simple. Might do a little bit of weathering on this engine, but that's finished. And the last part is the capsule. And these are the last remaining parts, the Dragon crew capsule. So that just needs gluing together, and that will be the construction of the rocket complete. The bottom part of the Dragon capsule is called the trunk, and this is a non-pressurized compartment that carries cargo. And we're just going to put these outer sections on like that. Now this is the base of the crew capsule. These are the Draco thrusters that control the capsule, and I'm just going to glue the bottom of the capsule onto that ring. And we've just got a little docking ring that goes in here like that, and these two are going to be held together again by little tiny magnets. So drop of glue in there and in with a magnet. Then there's this little umbilical which goes between the two, and lastly this docking cap goes on top. Well, there's the completed Dragon capsule. That's come out pretty nice. Looks fairly realistic. The two parts separate just like on the real thing, held together by a magnet. And really now that's the end of the construction, and I'm just going to finish it off by applying some vinyl stickers and a bit of final painting, and that will be the rocket done. So you can see the size of this rocket. It's not quite as big as a Saturn V, but it's not far off. Now this just shows a side-by-side comparison of the Space X Falcon 9 rocket against the Blue Origin New Shepard rocket. These are both built to the same scale, 1/60th, and you can see there's a pretty dramatic difference. So that's the end of another model. The Space X Falcon 9 Dragon crew capsule is finished. All that remains for me to say is I hope you enjoyed the build, and I will leave you with a few close-up pictures just so you can see the finished version. And with that, I'll say goodbye and see you next time on Modelling Misadventures.